Wait, is this Star Wars? Oh yeah, I guess it is. It's just going to be going in a completely different direction than any other Star Wars story we've seen before. We're going to get Wally droids, we're going to get bell towers from Game of Thrones, and we're going to get Sardaukar throat singing like from Dune. This new series, streaming August 31st on Disney+, will completely change the Star Wars galaxy as we know it. Diego Luna, the actor playing Cassian Andor on the show, recently let us know that we might not even recognize his character at the beginning, but what exactly does he mean by that? Andor stars Diego Luna as the spy who sacrificed himself in 2016's Rogue One while stealing the plans for the Death Star on Scarif. This story will be completely different from anything else we've seen in the Star Wars galaxy so far though, because it'll show us a side that isn't usually seen as being family friendly. It'll likely show the wars aspect of Star Wars in greater detail. We're going to get to see the darker, grittier side of Star Wars, probably similar in some ways to Rogue One. Diego Luna even said that the show will take place in the darkest times the galaxy has ever seen before. Make sure to stay until the end of the video for the biggest piece of information we've received on the show though. Luna said we may not recognize his character at the beginning of the show, most likely because he starts out as a thief, simply angry at the Empire with no greater purpose or cause to get behind. Throughout the show, we'll likely see Cassian grow into the man who sacrificed his life for the sake of the rebellion in Rogue One, and it's this kind of intense growth that we've seen very little of in recent Star Wars stories. One of the biggest differences that the series will bring to the Star Wars galaxy is that we'll actually get to see the formation of the rebellion against the Empire, something we've never seen in depth before. Yes, we've seen certain aspects of it in the animated series Rebels, but that show focused mostly on the crew members of the Ghost rather than on the actual formation of the rebellion. This is one era of Star Wars lore where there isn't much information available, so it'll be really interesting to see how everything started before A New Hope. One thing the series will show us is the difference between Mon Mothma as the incorruptible leader of the Rebel Alliance and Cassian Andor as the rebel spy who typically finds himself in gray areas and questionable circumstances. It'll likely hit on similar themes to ones we've seen in previous Star Wars stories, such as the desire to find balance, as Cassian strives to find a balance between doing what needs to be done and doing the right thing in any given situation. He'll likely face the struggle between doing what he thinks is right and doing whatever it takes to bring down the Empire, similar to some of the themes present in Rogue One. In a recent interview with Vanity Fair, Diego Luna said, "I believe science fiction and stories that happen in a galaxy far, far away are a great tool to comment on our world, on your life and my life and the way we interact. We need to explore the revolutionary we can become to change things, to stop war, to make this world a livable place." So Andor talks about that. I think it can inspire a lot of people on how much you can do by yourself. It'll be really interesting to see how the show brings this idea to life, especially given its departure from the typical Star Wars formula. The series has been described as a tense spy thriller, more akin to something like James Bond than Star Wars. This might be one of the most important aspects of this video. Rather than a futuristic fantasy story set in outer space, we're going to be getting Mission Impossible meets Dune. And I think that might actually be a good thing. If Lucasfilm were to keep giving us the same type of story over and over, it might start to feel a bit stale. Now that we're getting something that fits into somewhat of a different genre than what we're used to, we can start to see Star Wars in a different light that might open it up to a completely new audience. Now, the biggest piece of information we've received on the show, which may be a little bit of a spoiler, is that Mon Mothma may not be the perfect moral-driven character that we think she is. The show's director, Tony Gilroy, hinted that we may even have been lied to in previous Star Wars stories, or given a different version of the events from how they truly happened, also hinting that fans will likely have a lot to say about Mon Mothma. Gilroy said, "What you know, what you've been told, what's on Wikipedia, what you've been telling each other, is really all wrong." So, in all likelihood, we may find that Mon Mothma has more extremist tendencies than we originally thought, perhaps somewhat like Saw Gerrera, a rebel extremist who would stop at nothing to bring down the Empire. One criticism I've heard about the show is that it seems unnecessary, since we know how Cassian's story ends in Rogue One. I would disagree though, because with that mentality, we wouldn't have gotten the Clone Wars or Rebels or any of the prequels. I think there's so much to Cassian Andor that we haven't seen yet, and tons of backstory missing at this point in the Star Wars timeline. Although we know how Cassian's story ends on Scarif, there's plenty of chapters within his story we'll get to explore in the series, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. But let me know what you think. Will Andor be taking Star Wars in the right direction? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, check out the video on your screen for some different content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching Rocket Riley.